How's it going, everybody? Today you're in for a real treat. So I've mentioned a couple times on this channel, and also probably if you're a student of mine in class, that I really like to cook. And so today I thought I would show off A, skills I have with the knife, and also B, how to take a simple apple like so and turn it into a swan. So if you're ever in charge of making dinner for your family and you're feeling like you want to make it a little extra fancy, this is something that you can do. So I guess let's get right into it. I guess what you need is a knife. I have a very nice knife. You don't need one this fancy, but something sharp, like, okay, duh, a knife is sharp, but a sharp knife, that would be good. You also need an apple, and of course I'm using a cutting board. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your apple and you're going to essentially cut it. You don't want to cut it down the middle. You want to cut it slightly off to the side. I'm going to cut her down basically so we have this top part here. So we're going to cut it like so. You're going to take this little kind of, so you can see what I did here. We had our apple. I cut it so that it's not quite half. It's on the other side of half. And this part, the bigger part, is going to be the body and the wings of the swan, and we're going to use this part later to create the head and a few other things. We're going to set that off to the side for the time being. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this main part here and we're going to cut down the middle here off to the side. So we're not going right down the middle. Basically want to cut off to the side, and you don't want to go all the way down through. So I'm going to do this carefully so that I don't go all the way through. And then we're going to do one on the other side as well. Again, trying not to go all the way through. We're going to rock the knife here down gently. Okay. And this one needs to be a little bit further down. Okay. Then you're going to come in from the side here, again, very carefully, so that you match and meet the cut across that you did. What we should get then popping out is a wedge, which is perfect. That's what we're going to need. I'm going to switch this around because I can cut easier from this side. So we'll come in, again, trying to do this slowly so that I don't go all the way through. Perfect, we have our other wedge. All right, so what you're left with then is something that looks like this, which looks awfully strange. This is going to be the body of our swan. We're going to leave that down here. What you're going to do then, we'll set that off to the side. What you need to do is you need to basically create the wings. And so we're going to create the wings by taking this, you're going to cut down, and you're going to basically do the same thing you did over here, and you're going to create a bunch of little wedges going down. So I try to do this kind of thin because the more thinner you do it, the more layers to the wing you can have, which then results in a cooler looking swan. So do this very carefully. Like I mentioned, my knife is extremely sharp. If you're doing this at home and you're not 100% sure how sharp the knife is, be careful as you do it because don't want anybody cutting themselves. All right, so our wedge is perfect. Okay, so then we're going to slide this out and we're left with a wedge and a wedge. So we're going to put that down and we're going to just basically repeat this process. So what you're left with then is one wing. Looks like that. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're doing 5 layers. right, so we're coming along here nicely. So here we have the swan body, the wings cut back. The next thing we need to do is we need to take the other half of the apple that we are not using. So we're gonna set that aside for now. And I need to cut basically a thin chunk of this so that I can carve the head thing, because that's all we're really gonna use this for is the head. I'm gonna kinda cut this nice and thin. Well, this cut isn't very thin, but I'm gonna use this. Actually, that wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. I'm gonna cut that off. So now I have a flat little piece here that I've cut off from our original other half, and I'm gonna carve essentially the head. Not sure if I'm too happy with this head right now. Yeah, we're gonna do take 2 on the head. This is what I currently had as a head. That does not look very good, so we're gonna set that off to the side. We're gonna try one more thin little cut here, but this is really our last shot because we don't have that much apple left. So, okay, we're gonna cut that top part off again. Take 2 on the head. So what we want to do here is curve to it. Okay, this is looking better. And one of the other things you want to do, if you can, and I think I'd have to go on the bottom side here, is if you take out any seed that's in there, which this is one, like, kind of a seed. And you can use this seed and just kind of press this into the apple. And then you have a kind of an eye. So what we need to do then to attach the head is we're going to take our swan and you need to carve this front part here, and we need to basically cut out a notch that this can sit in. So we're gonna, again, you want to cut down, but you don't want to cut, all the way through. And again, the other hard part about this is that you've got to be thin enough. Like, you'd rather it be too thin. Well, golly gee, that was a lot easier than most of the other times I've done it. And then we're just going to rest. See, now I did ended up doing it a little bit too much, so we're going to kind of repack it with some of this here. Alrighty, and we'll clean up the mess here. And what we're left with is a swan made entirely out of an apple. So you can turn and see all the wings. So, this would obviously be some sort of edible thing then that you could leave on the table if you're making dinner, but something kind of fun. I learned this a while ago from a friend who is a chef, and he showed me how to do it, and we spent some time just when we were bored in the kitchen. He was the head chef at the summer camp I used to work at, and he used to take some of the apples and do this. And so one day I was in there helping with some things, and he showed me how to do it. And so it's kind of a fun thing to be able to do. Totally random video. I was just kind of thinking about it today, and I was like, why don't I just film that? We have one video left before we're done with school, and then I'm maybe going to continue making these. Just, I'm not 100% sure yet, but there you have it. Carve a swan out of an apple. Let me know if it works for you. 3, 2, 1.